People pleasing. What is it, why we do it, and how best to overcome it. If ever you felt that you had to shift yourself or mold yourself or go against your inner voice in order to achieve the approval of others and you didn't quite like the way it felt, this is a video for you to watch. We're going to talk about 3 different reasons why we people please and the tools to overcome this behavior. If you don't know me, my name is Bree from Everything Bree, and on this channel we talk about femininity, personal development, and mindset. So if these are topics that are interesting and important to you, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. So yes, today we're going to talk about people pleasing. I think that this is something that's so important because so many people do it, and it's become something that is so natural and happens so effortlessly for us that we don't even realize sometimes that we're doing ourselves a disservice. So what exactly is people pleasing? I have it written here that people pleasing is a motivation that drives a person to make decisions solely based on the level of approval that they think that they will receive. So hearing it that way, making decisions based on the level of approval that they think that they're going to receive, does that really sound like a bad thing? Sometimes it's not a bad thing. You know, we are humans. Humans are social creatures. Us as Homo sapiens, we have grown and we have been blessed to be created to be social creatures and thrive in social environments. You know, we have Adam and Eve placed here on earth together, and they were told to be fruitful and multiply because we want family, we want community, we want relationships. If you think about like our evolutionary history, before we were in this modern 2023 world, like we were hunter-gatherers and we were in tribes, and if we were in a tribe and our tribe didn't like us and we were like casted out into the wilderness, that was certain death for us because there was no way that an individual would have been able to fight off lions and tigers and bears by themselves. So we have not only been created to, but we have evolved as a species to want to socialize, to build relationships, and to have friendships and connections. So people pleasing is not always a bad thing. There's always going to be times where we have to give and take. There's always going to be times where we have to compromise. Like reciprocity is always going to be something that is necessary for us to survive in society. When people pleasing becomes a problem is when we lose sight of our subconscious ideas, and then it becomes kind of instinctual. So now in 2023, when we are not going to be chased by a lion if we don't have a friend, like we're able to decide what we want to do, how we want to do it, and not base our behaviors on how others will receive us. So what are some reasons why people please? I have come up with 3 different reasons at the heart of it. Wow, why people please. 1, it is to fit in. 2, it is to avoid conflict. And 3, it is to feel loved. So people pleasers generally feel that it is better for other people to like them than it is for them to like themselves. And that brings me to my first point of people please to fit in. Before we even get started, like what I've learned is that people pleasing is not actually some medical diagnosis or some mental health issue. It really is just our way, and like what we have kind of coined it as trying to do one of these 3 things: fit in, avoid conflict, and feel loved. And by doing so, we change ourselves. So 1, to fit in. People pleasing to fit in. why do we do this? When I think of people pleasing to fit in, I kind of think of it like high school. Like, imagine you're in high school, everyone is trying to just be part of a clique. And let's say that you are a little bit different. Let's say that you're a little bit non-conventional, maybe you're a bit alternative, and instead of wearing the clothes that you want to wear or listening to the kind of music that you want to listen to or doing the activities or the hobbies that you're interested in that you actually enjoy, you go ahead and you kind of minimize yourself in order to make friends. And you may very well make friends, doing that, you may very well make friends. But think about the friends that you're making. Even if they have the best intentions, let's say that they really like you, like they think that the persona that you're putting on is so cool and that you really gain all of these friendships and all of this popularity, do they really like you? Or do they like who you're pretending to be? So this becomes really dangerous because you're not really getting the people around you who are the best for you. If you were to be your authentic self, then you would have the opportunity to attract like-minded people. These people would like you for you, and then those relationships and those friendships would be more genuine, be more authentic, and be more long-lasting. So that brings me to the second reason why people please, in order to avoid conflict. Oftentimes when people please in order to avoid conflict, this is something that they have learned probably in childhood or through a traumatic experience. So this one is not so much like, oh, just trying to make people like you. This is something that's kind of been ingrained in them in order to have a better chance at self-preservation. So oftentimes when we find that people are people pleasing in order to avoid conflict, it's that they had to parent please, that they had to parent please. And those are people who oftentimes grew up in more dysfunctional families or had parents or guardians that they needed to appease in order to feel validation from them. So if you grew up, for example, or if a person, for example, grew up in a family or in an environment where they had to walk on eggshells around adults, because if they didn't, then the adult would maybe blow up, or the adult would physically or verbally or mentally abuse them, then these become adults that feel as if they need to people please in order to avoid conflict. What I can say to someone who identifies with this characteristic is that fortunately, there are a lot of healed people, and not every person is going to react the way that you were taught that people react by saying no. The majority of people can really just hear someone say no, have someone enforce their boundaries, have someone not necessarily agree with them without it turning into this explosive or abusive situation. So I would challenge someone who feels as if they people please in order to avoid conflict to try being firm in their no, and try, when you feel as if you don't want to move forward or you don't want to do something, that you feel empowered to say no and see how the reaction of others are. Oftentimes people may be disappointed, but they're not going to explode on you. And then once you start to see that, wow, I'm able to enforce my boundaries, I'm able to say no, I'm able to listen to my inner voice, I'm able to be the person and that I want to be and do the things that I want to do without feeling as if my safety or my mental health or my integrity will be compromised from it, then it will become easier for you to not be a people pleaser and more be self-satisfying. if they do react in a way that is negative, or if they do react in a way that is makes you feel uncomfortable or makes you feel uneasy, then that is kind of your cue that maybe this person is not a healthy addition to your life. And it would be understandable that you can reevaluate that person's position in your life. For number 3, reasons why we people please is in order to feel loved. People who people please in order to feel loved think that their worthiness or their value is tied directly to their likability. So people pleasers think that excuse me. People pleasers who people please in order to feel love believe that they are not lovable unless they are likable, and they're not likable unless they're agreeable. That is a really, really dangerous mindset to have. Why? Because there's a such thing as coexisting. There is very much a way where you can disappoint somebody and you can be unagreeable, and that person would still love you. If anyone is a parent, you can understand the idea of maybe your child disappointing you, maybe your child doing something that you don't necessarily agree with, but that doesn't change the fact that you love them. If you have ever had a genuine friendship, maybe your friend does something that you don't necessarily agree with, maybe not even to you, your friend could be doing something in their personal lives, that doesn't make you love them less. Your value is not based on what you can do for others. You have innate value. What I find with people pleasers is that they don't realize always that they're doing something wrong, or that what their behavior is, that their behavior is negative. Because on the surface, a people pleaser seems to be kind and seems to be generous. In reality, people pleasers are often very insecure and lack polarity. Imagine if everything that you did, the person agrees with you. Like, what's your favorite color? Pink. Oh, my favorite color is pink too. What's your favorite movie? This movie. Oh, my favorite movie is that too. What's your favorite genre of music? Oh, I love that genre of music too. At first, you would think like, oh my goodness, there's so much compatibility. Oh my goodness, me and this person would get along so well. But then eventually it would start getting weird. Like, what's your favorite food? Pizza. My favorite food is pizza too. Eventually you would start to be like, hold on, this person is not being authentic. This person is not being who they really are. And it kind of becomes off-putting. So these are the things that I've come across, and these are the things that I've learned when I was doing some research on people pleasing. I really hope that this video helps people who have this issue of people pleasing to kind of understand the psychology behind why they do it, and I've given you guys some tools to be able to overcome it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.